Level 1. The Mercenary. 9 clubs, 5 countries, 11 league titles, and not a single fan base on earth that can claim Zlatan Ibrahimovic as exclusively theirs. Ask a Juventus fan who Zlatan belongs to. They'll say, Juventus, he won Serie A there. He looked unplayable. Ask an Inter fan. They'll say Inter, 3 consecutive titles, the peak years. Ask a Milan fan. They'll say Milan. He came back, he scored, he retired in red and black and cried on the pitch. 3 answers, no consensus. That's the whole story in one sentence. Malmö to Ajax, Ajax to Juventus, Juventus to Inter, Inter to Barcelona, where he lasted 1 season before his relationship with Guardiola collapsed completely. Back to Milan, then PSG, then Manchester United, then LA Galaxy, then Milan again. He won the league in the Netherlands, Italy, Spain, France, and England. He scored over 500 club goals. He never won the Champions League. Not once across 9 clubs and 3 decades of elite football. That is the definition of level 1. Carlos Tevez fits here for different reasons. Man United, Man City, Juventus, Boca Juniors. The quality was never in question. The commitment sometimes was. The image that defines his career for a lot of people isn't a goal. It's a photograph of him sitting in the stands at Manchester City after reportedly refusing to warm up as a substitute. The club said he refused to play. Tevez denied it. Whatever the truth, the photograph exists. Mario Balotelli occupies a similar space. Gifted in a way that should have made him untouchable. Chaotic in a way that meant no club could hold him for long. Brief mentions, both of them, because the story of level 1 is really Zlatan's story. Everyone else is a supporting cast. Level 2. The Hired Gun. Radamel Falcao at Atletico Madrid between 2011 and 2013 was one of the most complete centre-forwards in world football. In the Europa League final against Athletic Bilbao in 2012, he scored twice in a 3-0 win. In the UEFA Super Cup against Chelsea a few months later in Monaco, he scored a first-half hat-trick in a 4-1 victory, 3 goals before half-time, against European champions. Atletico fans will tell you he's a legend, and for 2 seasons he was. But then he left for Monaco. Then came the knee injury. Then a loan to Manchester United, where he managed 4 Premier League goals in 29 appearances. Then Chelsea on loan. Then Galatasaray. Then more clubs that blur into one another. 2 seasons and a Europa League is a spell. It is not a legacy. The difference matters. There's also the matter of what Falcao became after. A player who had been the most feared striker in Europe managed 4 Premier League goals at United, then Chelsea, then Galatasaray, then clubs that nobody outside their own fan base could name with confidence. The trajectory matters as much as the peak. A hired gun earns the title by leaving, every time. James Rodriguez is the cleaner version of the same story. 1 World Cup in 2014, the goal against Uruguay, the tournament of his life, and suddenly Real Madrid paid 80 million euros. He never truly justified it. Bayern Munich took him on loan and he was excellent in patches. Everton signed him and he lit up the Premier League for half a season before the form evaporated. The career became a series of promising starts that never found a second chapter. Bought for what he might become, never quite became it. Level 3. The Cult Hero. Tim Cahill scored 56 Premier League goals for Everton across 8 seasons. He headed the ball with a ferocity that seemed physically impossible for his height. He celebrated goals by running to the corner flag and punching it with both fists, which the entire stadium loved and which made absolutely no logical sense, and which is still the image most people see when they think of him. Everton fans loved him completely. He was not, however, the reason Everton won anything. He never won a trophy at the club. His absence didn't change the club's trajectory. The love was real, the historical weight wasn't. That gap between adoration and decisive importance is exactly what defines Level 3. The fans remember everything. The trophy cabinet doesn't. Dimitar Berbatov is the more complicated version. At Tottenham, he was elegant in a way that made the ground go quiet. The back heel, the chest control, the refusal to run anywhere he didn't consider strictly necessary. At Manchester United, he scored 5 goals in a single Premier League game against Blackburn in 2010. A hat-trick, a header, a chest, and looked bored doing it. He won 2 Premier League titles. He shared the Golden Boot with Carlos Tevez in the 2010-11 season. And somehow, in retrospect, he doesn't feel essential to either club's story. He was too good to ignore and not quite decisive enough to define. Some will argue he belongs higher. That argument is the point of putting him here. Peter Crouch played for 11 clubs across his career. Every single fanbase loved him. None of them needed him. Warmth is not the same as legacy. Level 4. The Almost Gone. 6 weeks after Istanbul, 6 weeks after one of the greatest nights in Liverpool's history, after Steven Gerrard dragged his team from 3-0 down in a Champions League final and lifted the trophy above his head, Chelsea bid £32 million for him. Gerrard handed in a transfer request. He was ready to go. Then he wasn't. He withdrew the request, signed a new contract, and stayed. He never won the Premier League. Across his entire Liverpool career, 710 appearances, 186 goals, a Champions League, 2 FA Cups, the one trophy that would have completed the picture never came. The closest he got was April 2014, a run-in that had Liverpool top of the table and genuinely convinced the title was coming. Then came the slip, against Chelsea. The same Chelsea he had nearly joined 9 years earlier. He lost control of a pass, the ball rolled to Demba Ba, Ba scored, Liverpool lost 2-0 and the title went to Manchester City. The symmetry of that moment, Gerrard, Liverpool, Chelsea, the slip, is the reason the almost gone level exists. Mourinho later admitted Gerrard was the player he most wanted and never got. That acknowledgement landed differently than intended. Wayne Rooney handed in one transfer request at Manchester United, October 2010. Chelsea, Real Madrid, Barcelona were all mentioned. 48 hours later, he withdrew it and signed a new contract. He finished as the club's all-time record goalscorer with 253 goals. The request is a footnote now. The goals are the headline. Luka Modric won the Ballon d'Or in 2018. The first player in 11 years to win it who wasn't Messi or Ronaldo, and almost left Real Madrid that same summer. Inter Milan wanted him. Modric was open to it. Florentino Perez blocked it with a €750 million release clause, and that was the end of the conversation. Modric stayed. He won 2 more Champions Leagues. He became the most decorated player in Real Madrid's history with 28 trophies. In 2025, aged 40, he left for AC Milan on his own terms. That departure was a farewell. The 2018 situation was almost something else entirely. Did the almost gone players earn their way back to full legend status? Or does the near exit follow them forever? That's what the comments section is for. Level 5. The Institution. John Terry made 717 appearances for Chelsea across 22 years. 5 Premier League titles, 1 Champions League, a final in Munich in 2012, where he was suspended and couldn't play, but appeared on the pitch afterward in full kit to lift the trophy with the rest of the squad. Chelsea fans understood it. Everyone else found it strange. That image is Terry completely, the desire to be part of the club's story so total that the line between presence and participation blurred. He was the defensive organizer, the voice, the captain who set the tone for how that Chelsea side wanted to be seen. When he left in 2017, the club kept winning, but they noticed the gap. Carles Puyol played 593 games for Barcelona across 15 years. 6 La Liga titles, 3 Champions Leagues. He captained one of the greatest club sides ever assembled, and did it with an aggression and commitment that made the more technically gifted players around him feel protected. When he retired in 2014, Barcelona won the treble the following season, with someone else at centre-back. The squad absorbed his absence completely. That is not a criticism, it is the precise definition of level 5, irreplaceable in identity, replaceable in system. 501 games, 7 Bundesliga titles, 1 Champions League, a World Cup as Germany captain. Philipp Lahm retired at 33 on his own terms, having never played for any club other than Bayern Munich at senior level. The cleanest career structure on this entire list. And still, Bayern won before him, during him, and after him. The machine never stopped. He was the most reliable component in a system that would have found another reliable component. What makes him compelling is that none of that reads as a failure. It reads as what total institutional fit actually looks like. Seamless, selfless, unreplaceable in identity, even as the squad moved on around him. That distinction is why he is here and not higher. Level 6. The Monument. Ryan Giggs made his debut for Manchester United in 1991. He played his last game in 2014. 24 years, 963 appearances, 13 Premier League titles, 2 Champions Leagues. He played under 4 permanent managers at the club and was present for every significant moment of the Ferguson era. The 1999 treble, the 2008 Champions League, the rebuilt squads of the mid-2000s. In extra time of the 1999 FA Cup semi-final replay against Arsenal, he picked up a loose pass from Vieira in his own half, ran at the Arsenal defence, beat 5 defenders, and hammered the ball past Seaman. He tore his shirt off running back. It remains one of the defining images of that entire era. United without Giggs for those 24 years is a structurally different club. In the 93rd minute of the 2014 Champions League final in Lisbon, Sergio Ramos rose to meet a corner and headed the ball into the net. Atletico were leading 1-0. That header made it 1-1. Real Madrid went on to win 4-1 in extra time. La Decima, the 10th European Cup, was secured after a 12-year wait. Without that header, the final ends differently. The dynasty that followed, 3 more Champions Leagues in 4 years, quite possibly doesn't happen. Ramos spent 16 years at Real Madrid, made 671 appearances, won 4 Champions Leagues and 4 La Ligas. He captained the most successful era in the club's modern history. He left in 2021 for PSG, a farewell that arrived 1 season too late, complicated by injuries and the sense that the club had already moved on while he was still there. Andres Iniesta played 674 games for Barcelona across 16 years. 9 La Liga titles, 4 Champions Leagues. In the 2009 Champions League semi-final second leg at Stamford Bridge, with Chelsea leading on aggregate and seconds remaining in the 93rd minute, Iniesta scored. Barcelona went through. They won the treble that season. In the 2010 World Cup final against the Netherlands, with the score 0-0 in extra time, Iniesta scored the only goal of the game. He left for Vissel Kobe in 2018, aged 34, on his own terms. His career at Barcelona became part of the club's origin story. Not a chapter, the whole spine of it. One of these 3 will generate the most debate. Which one belongs higher than the other 2 is what the comments will spend the next 48 hours arguing about. Level 7. The Immortal. Cristiano Ronaldo spent 9 years at Real Madrid. 451 goals in 438 appearances, a goals-per-game ratio no player in the club's history has matched. 4 Champions Leagues, 2 La Ligas. He arrived in 2009 as the world's most expensive player and left in 2018 as the post-Raúl identity of the club, the player who defined what Real Madrid looked like during the most successful European era in modern football. In the 2018 Champions League quarter-final second leg against Juventus, he scored a bicycle kick from the edge of the penalty area that Juventus fans rose to applaud inside their own stadium. An away goal, celebrated by the opponents. Ronaldo's placement here is different from the others. This is not about loyalty. This is about what 9 years of performance at that level does to a club's identity. Lionel Messi played 778 games for Barcelona, 672 goals, 10 La Liga titles, 4 Champions Leagues. A career so embedded in one club that when he left in 2021, it felt like the city lost something structural rather than just a player. The 2009 Champions League final goal against Manchester United, a header, which remains one of the most surprising things he ever did, given that heading was never considered a strength. The 2011 semi-final goal against Real Madrid, picking up the ball deep, running at Pepe, past Ramos, past the goalkeeper, finishing. For 17 years, the best player on the planet played for one club, and that club became the benchmark for what football could be. The departure, forced by Barcelona's financial collapse, was not his choice. Francesco Totti played 786 games for Roma across 25 years. 307 goals, a Serie A record for goals scored for a single club. He was captain from age 22. Real Madrid came for him. Every major club in Europe came for him at one point or another. He stayed. Every time. One Serie A title in 25 years. The cost of loyalty made visible. In 2017, on May 28th, in his final game against Genoa, Totti came off the bench, played his last minutes as a professional footballer, and then stood at the center of the Stadio Olimpico and read from a letter he had written to the fans. The stadium was in tears. He was in tears. He is not a player who represents Roma, he is the shorthand for what Roma means. Paolo Maldini played 902 games for AC Milan across 25 years. 7 Serie A titles, 5 Champions Leagues. 8 finals across 3 decades, a record shared only with Paco Gento of Real Madrid. He made his debut as a 16-year-old in January 1985 and retired at 41 in 2009, still performing at a level that won him the UEFA Club Defender of the Year award at 39. When he retired, Milan retired the number 3 shirt. Not just honored it, retired it. His father, Cesare, had worn it before him as Milan captain. His son, Daniel, made his debut for the club after him. 3 generations of the same family, the same club, the same shirt number. In 2003, Maldini lifted the Champions League trophy as captain at Old Trafford, exactly 40 years after his father had lifted the same trophy as Milan's captain. That is not a football story. That is something closer to mythology. Trophies, loyalty, performance, and legacy sustained at the highest level for a quarter of a century. There is no higher level. Maldini is the complete case and the closing argument of this entire video.